Good morning, everybody. Happy Thursday. Hashtag Truth Bombs Thursday. I'm here with my dearest friend, Kornelia Stephanie, and we are here to share some truth with you, to share some love, to share some light and coffee. Good morning, everybody. Hope you're doing well. If you are watching live, send us some hellos in the comments and engage in the conversation, because this is not just Cornelia and I talking amongst one another, but it's really bringing you guys in on the conversation and helping you just see different sides of things, right? Our world is dark. There's a lot of ucky yuckiness, and we just need to be shining brighter. We need to have those smiles on our faces and learn to love and embrace and just come back to humanity. So, any welcoming thoughts, Cornelia?
Yeah, I love that you said the world is dark. So whenever we see the darkness, we can look at the darkness that we have within our own shadows and within our own self. And once we embrace those shadows and integrate that darkness, the world isn't so dark anymore
Mm.
because we courageously face those shadows. Everything that the world is mirroring to us is bringing up something to the surface, whether it's the world, whether it's relationships, whether it's the government, whether it's the people. It's all, triggering us to bring up that part in us that feels not accepted, not seen, not loved, not honored. And through that experience, so that we can release it and let it go, and that we can be in our light.
I love it. I love it. I love it. It's really moving through that darkness, that period where, like you were mentioning, that is drawing this stuff up and out of us so that we can release it and let it go. And it's in those moments that our light, may seem like a really dim candle, then really becomes, as powerful as the light of the sun. And so you know, a lot of current events happening. To be honest, when Cornelia and I first started this show, now 8 or 9 episodes ago, you'll have to check out the flow of how that's been going. It's been so wonderful, and we've always had this idea that we'll just come on and have a conversation, about current events, about whatever's coming up in our lives, and I'm going to be honest, and this may not make some people happy, and that's okay. This is my truth, but I've made it very apparent to myself that over this next week, I'm not going to talk about things that are happening. I'm not going to give it energy. I'm not going to go, oh my gosh, and this and that and da 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 da. I'm going to figure out, where my life is headed, the direction that I'm going, like the direction that my family's taking, the direction that my friends and really dear close colleagues are taking. Like, there's so much to be grateful for, and there's so much excitement and so much just so much. I don't even know the word, Cornelia, like spurring, like going on, like really building upon all of these different things that are happening. I really want to talk about the app today too, because it's such
Oh,
an exciting
mhm.
piece. So there's all of these crazy amazing things that Cornelia and I are doing in the world with a bunch of other people, and it's exciting that you tend to not focus on the media, on the news, on this, on that. So while our show is titled Truth Bombs and Coffee, and it's our truth, it's not us shoving our truth down your throat. This is our truth and sharing a different narrative. It's almost like I want to take time away from spending that in the current news, events, all of that, and really talk about what we're co-creating together, what we're doing in the world, and how we are shining light, keeping our power, really learning to love deeply and impact humanity in a positive way.
Yeah, it's so perfect that you said that exactly. Where we can best focus our energy now, right?
Yeah.
And it's really not just now. It's for me, it's always been in that place, because I've been on this personal development and this self-realization path for a long time now, and I've been showing up and speaking to my own truths, how I see things, reveal things that I feel are important to share. But at the same time, I stopped watching the news and all those things years and years ago, and I'm very busy at creating the new. So I think it's great. That's where I spend most of my energy. So I make sure that I'm in my center and that I'm feeling harmonized and at peace, and that I'm a peace beacon and I'm sending my peace energy out, right? I'm doing that. And then I'm looking at what, again, because I'm a path paver of the new earth. And so I'm already here, the 5D, living in the fifth dimension, creating heaven on earth. That's already exists. So the old world is over there, and it's like over there, rainbow, literally you could go over the bridge and go to the other side, and there's the old world. And occasionally I'll drive over, wave at some folks, and then come on back, come on over here, come on. We're over here being busy with loving on each other, accepting each other, hugging on each other, loving each other, supporting each other in that way, and also looking at what is it that we want to build and sustain in our new earth going forward.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I love the analogy, about going back into the 3D world and kind of, bringing people with you, like bringing people to the new world, to the creation, to all of the opportunities and the amazing shifts that are happening in the world, where people are beginning to realize that their old model or their old thinking is no longer serving them, and they're understanding that I've given my power away to, you mentioned the government or the authorities or this or that, or to other doctors, or to all these different people. I've given my voice. I've let them take this voice, and I no longer know who I am. And so the beauty of getting to create this new world and getting to create all of, the amazing things that we're doing together is getting to kind of show people. It's almost, this is like a random weird analogy that popped up into my head, or metaphor. But if you've ever watched The Little Mermaid and Ursula took her voice, it's almost like at that point in the movie where Ariel receives her voice again, and the embodiment of who she became in that process, like, trying to navigate and wanting to be human, but still her mermaid self. And then, figuring out now she's in her power state at that very end of that, And so that's, I commend you, Cornelia. I think you're, obviously, how I feel about you, but I just think you're incredibly wonderful at really helping people find their power, find their source of strength, and centering themselves to withstand all of the darkness going on, and to come back to really what that light looks like.
Yeah, that's really what we're all doing. We're all walking each other home. We're all doing that. And we, as role models, as influencers, as leading edge creators that have fully accepted the torch of walking in integrity, doing no harm, and loving each other and loving the world, while at the same time having clear, strong boundaries of what we will and will not tolerate, like being that warrior and that fierce warrior. That's also happening at the same time, using our wisdom, not weapons, to
Mm.
support each other in that way. I want to bring up a topic that came up this week in conversation with in that in when what happens when people try to push their truth down someone's throat.
Mm. Yes, please do.
Do you want me to bring that up? So I
Yeah,
haven't spoken about it, but I think this would be a good place to do it. So
right.
because you had mentioned that, let everybody know that you and I are here. We're just sharing our version of what we're talking about,
Mhm.
and that by no means does that mean that anybody else has to believe that or whatever it is. But so here's the way that, the whole division in the world that has been going on, and the separation that's been going on, no matter what your views are, whatever your religious views are, because we've been that part has been dividing us for a long time, the religious views, whatever your religious views are, whatever your political views are, whatever your medical views are, whatever you believe, whatever
Yeah.
that is. But right, there's so many people that
Yeah.
everybody has their own belief system, and really everyone is it's okay for everyone to believe what they believe, and to be, to stand in your truth, no matter what that is. But it's certainly not okay for a person to go and, push their belief system on someone else and expect them. That's the same thing that's happened for eons, when, if when you would talk about politics, or you would talk about religion, and then how people would become divided simply because
Mhm.
you didn't believe what they believed. And really,
Mhm.
I want to talk about this from a standpoint of unconditional love, because in the new earth is unconditional love. And we have to live and act like God would. God is,
Mhm.
Source is. And Source is not um, shaming those people that have those beliefs, and Source is not shaming those people that have those beliefs. Source is not doing any. The sun, the shining sun, the glorious golden sun, isn't shaming, is all accepting. And unconditional love is the space that we provide in the new earth, that you're welcome here with your beliefs, you're welcome here with your beliefs. Do know that we don't tolerate any violence,
Mhm.
but we don't, we know what our boundaries are. But unconditional love, we have to live and act out the unconditional love, that I can be with you and I can hear what it is that you're saying about, these are your views, or this is what you believe, and I can be with it even though if I don't agree with it, I can still be with it. I may even ask you, huh, that's interesting. Could you help me see why you believe that, or why that is so, to be curious to find why the person is thinking that or
Right.
believing that, right? Then let's start a conversation and again build that bridge. But certainly not keeping the division going, that you're like this, you're black, you're white, you're political, you're gay, you're straight, you're this, you're that. Come on. Hello.
Oh my gosh, exactly. Hello. You can I one thing I want to interject right there, and I think is that the topic, that's kind of like the direction, the topic.
Yeah.
It's interesting because we go to the zoo, and I haven't been to the zoo in a very long time, but I can guarantee most of us have some perception or picture of the zoo. So using this is going to help. We go to the zoo and we look at the giraffes and we're like, wow, look at the gorgeous giraffes. And we look at the elephants and we look at the birds and we look at all of these different animals, and zebras in their stripes. We don't look at the zebra and go, why are you not a giraffe? Why is your neck so short? Why are you not as tall as you should be? We don't look at the giraffe and go, why are you not as fat as the elephant? You should be as fat as the elephant. Here we do as humans, we're looking at all of the uniqueness of every single one of these animals in the creation, and their unique design. Yet for ourselves as human beings, we judge, we look down upon, that person doesn't, they're not straight, like you mentioned, they're gay, they're this, they're that, da 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 da. We're putting labels on everything. We put labels on ourselves, and all it does is continue to weigh down our entire who we are, our identity. Like, we're not fully expressed. In the notes, when I scheduled this live, I mentioned the idea of health and well-being, physically, spiritually, emotionally, and mentally. And when we are not in alignment with physical health, spiritual health, emotional health, mental health, we lose our identity, and we lose our voice, and we lose our power, and we begin to not even exist as who we were created to be, but more existing in a mold of what we think others think we should be.
That's good. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's good. And you're speaking to this, and we're talking about this so that we don't make the same mistakes that we've been making. Because Dr. Brooke, you are a young mother and
Hmm.
you have a child, and your child is a future leader on this planet.
Hmm.
And so it is our responsibility to create an environment that your child can thrive in. Not just your
Absolutely.
child, but all the children, right? So,
Yep.
but specifically because you're a mother and you can relate. And so that's from the time from when I first met you and watched the video and why you became a doctor. It was because, so that you can take care of yourself and that you
Yep.
can heal from the past and that you can take the reins on your own healing
Hmm.
and that you can educate society, but also help your daughter and help you to become a better mother.
Absolutely. And I don't mean to shift directions, but I just felt this calling come on in this conversation. And you mentioned, the reason why I became a doctor and wanting to heal and in all of that. And yes, that was a huge driving force. People who know my story and are very familiar with it know that my daughter was the reason my life is where it's at right now. Like, she changed my life in more ways than she can ever, understand. And it may be very cliche to say, oh, when I became a mother, my life changed. Well, yes, that happens, but the veils of like not having any understanding of who I was, because I was the person I mentioned to you guys about, just where you're so completely lost. You have no understanding of who you are and you're trying to fit into what you think society wants you to be. That was me. So when I say that, I'm saying it from personal experience. My daughter did shift my life and change my life in the ways where I began to stand firm and stand in my power and make change in areas of my own personal world, in the surrounding area of my world, and getting involved in different things that are going to impact her in the future. But in the same regard, like, I think that, I don't know why this is so tough for me to say. I'm going to say it. Because I am speaking my truth, and this is what this show is about. One of the things for me, I grew up in the church since I was a really young girl to now, right? I mean, it was in the church, and growing up with a disability, which, you guys, we're not going to go into that right now, but growing up, I had a lot of insecurities around it.
Mhm.
And God's going to heal me, God's going to heal me, God's going to heal me. That was,
Yeah.
the narrative all the time, and it was all of this stuff. And every single year, I felt more insecure. I felt, I was being made fun of. I got bullied going to a new school. All of these things that were happening. And it was like, I had this ceiling. I don't know if you want to call it that, a ceiling of religiosity, like,
Yeah.
here. And I was like kind of hitting my head up, and I was like,
Yeah.
God,
You couldn't get
God's gonna
beyond the
tell
ceiling.
you. Huh?
You couldn't get beyond the ceiling
No.
because the narrative that had always been preached and indoctrinated has been that God is in the sky and you have to look outside of yourself to go look for God, and that actually God's going to come and do something when actually the truth is that God is within you and that you let me
Absolutely.
say this, let me say this, and that you are God. That's a bomb. That's a
There
bomb.
it is.
That's a bomb, and that's a truth bomb. It's like, I know it's a lot of responsibility to take on for a person. Like, who does she think she is to say that you're God? Yeah, you are, and so is everyone else. They just haven't realized it yet.
Right. So like, I kept hitting this ceiling. And it wasn't until, I had my daughter and I had already gone through all of the torturous, with an emotional, verbally abusive relationship with her father, and all of the other prior relationships in my life, because I didn't have that self-love, that I started to really look at spirituality in a different way. And the reason I think I struggle with this is because a lot of Christians look at it like, oh, she's gone very new agey.
Oh
And
yeah.
whether they want to, again, this is their viewpoint and that's okay. But like a relationship with God is very different than a religion with God. Religion holds you to these boxes, to these ceilings. A relationship is, it's, like you're saying, like he's within, like God within, like
Or she.
heaven on earth.
Or
Or
she.
exactly, absolutely, absolutely. And so it wasn't until I really embraced the healing from within and really looked deep into the shadows of my being that I feel like my relationship with the creator, with source energy, has become so profound in my world today that I don't even operate, well, I am human, so I struggle and I stumble, but a majority of my day is spent operating in what is source needing? Where am I at right now? My body was feeling a little fatigued this morning, and I woke up and I asked, okay, what do I need to do to support myself through this day? This right here, yes, it's truth bombs and coffee, but it's actually bone broth I'm drinking because that's what I was guided to.
And you know what I'm drinking? I'm drinking a little detox tea. Isn't that funny? It's
That is
sweet.
so
That's so cute. It's so cute. We have,
so,
I know we only have a few minutes left.
yes,
It's I think we
yes,
really hit on some good points today. We can pick
yes,
that up again in a couple of weeks when we come back and
yeah.
really, dive that deeper. But one of the things I want, let's talk to people about the Cornelia Stephanie Media Group app and
Yes.
what we want everybody to do and why we want people to go there and how it's going to support them and help them. So right now, everyone go to the App Store or the Play Store
Mhm.
and download KS. There's a little space. You don't have to put the space, but KS Media Group app. Download it on your phone and create your free account. You're going to get a free ebook, and then you're going to have access to all the content that's there. But one of
Mhm.
the main reasons why it's so great for you, the listener, to download the app is because if you're looking for content like this, like what Dr. Brook and I just shared here, and so much more, the Cornelia
Yes.
Stephanie Media Group app is an app for you, the listener, that has everything at your fingertips. So you really don't have to go anywhere else and look for any inspiration or support, anything to do with your life, anything to do with your spirituality, anything to do with your physical body, because the world's best influencers are all featured here under directories, under resources. And Dr. Brooke has she's featured in here as well.
Yep.
So right, and your podcasts are there. So definitely we want to let everyone know, download that app immediately. Hurry up, don't wait. And if you're newer and you want to be featured in this incredible app and want to
Mhm.
be a founding member,
Mhm.
then be sure to reach out to radio@corneliastephanie.com.
Absolutely. And we will put that in the comments below. I can also add the comment. I think I can even add the comment right now. I do. So Cornelia shared KS space media group. You don't have to put the spaces, but I will also link it because I'll pull the Apple App Store link for the app to put in the comments to make it easy for you guys to just click on the link, or the Google Play link. So there's no any sort of hiccups or any sort of resistance to it. There are incredible people. My life has gotten so much brighter and better since Cornelia entered it early this year. And I'm just very excited to see the projection of what's going to happen, even in these next couple months. And as we move into 2022, 22, 22.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Dr. Brooke, let me just ask you one question. Why
Yeah.
is it, I mean, because you're featured in an app now. I mean, how
Yes.
does that feel as being featured as world's best influencer, Dr. Brooke?
Honestly,
How does that feel being featured there?
honestly, Cornelia, it feels incredible. But more importantly, what feels like what I'm so in alignment with is allowing people to, really connect in a much deeper way to the knowledge that's being shared there, and
Yeah,
watching people's lives change. So yes,
that's it.
I'm being used as a vessel, but not, it's not for me necessarily. It's for you. It's
Yeah,
for not you, the listener, Cornelia.
yeah.
It's for you too, Cornelia.
Yeah, it's for me too. Hey, you're my doc. What are you talking
Yeah,
about? You're the one
yeah,
I go to. Just like I'm
definitely.
your person, you're my person.
Yeah, you're my person. I'm your person.
Yeah, we're each other's person. So that's why become our person and
Yeah,
join the app and join us. You can't go wrong. You're going to be supported and loved, and there's just so much to say. Thank you, Jessica,
absolutely.
for having us.
Absolutely. Thank you all for being here. Thank you for watching. If you have any questions, comments, concerns, like whatever, if you want to reach out to us, you can reach out to us in the comments, and then we will definitely make sure we respond and stay connected. So have a beautiful rest of your day, and we will be back in a couple weeks.
Bye.
Bye.